Right. I want to hear your biggest round of applause as we welcome Clancy and John.
How you doing, Carlisle? This is good, he says through clenched teeth. We're 100 Things We Learned from Film podcast. I'm Clancy, and I'm going to be sat with an ogre for the next 50 minutes.
Yep, I'm John, and once upon a time I used to be a real boy.
So we're the podcast that tries to learn 100 things from every film that we talk about, and today we are talking about what, John?
It's Shrek, and I hope everyone's seen it.
Yeah, have you seen Shrek, everybody? Give us a shout. One or two people. Yeah, okay. I'm looking around the audience, and actually, I think most of you weren't born when Shrek came out of the cinema, which is really disconcerting for a dad podcast. Fantastic. So the film's old enough to rent a car, which means that me and John have absolutely lived too long.
Yeah.
But we're going to run through the film, drop some facts, have a little bit of a laugh, and we're also going to give people the opportunity to come up and probably win something, which we think will be quite good. So look out for that shortly. Should we start the film, John?
Yes, we can.
Maybe move your mic, obviously not leaning forward all the time.
No, we can.
All right. So John, it's a DreamWorks film. Anything on DreamWorks before we start?
Yeah, so we got a DPI DreamWorks, which was a child company for DreamWorks, and they were shut down in January 2015. It turns out there was an underperformance of Mr. Peabody and Sherman and Penguins of Madagascar, which I don't believe for a second because they were bangers.
We assume it's one film to Madagascar. Indeed!
Turns out the DreamWorks logo was an idea from the company's founder, which is Steve Spielberg. He wanted to do a CGI image. It was an illustrator called Robert Hunt who was commissioned to do it, and he used his son as the model for the little boy skipping along.
That will win you a pub quiz, I guarantee. Right, Shrek made $487 million worldwide from a $60 million budget, so that's not bad going. But it's not the biggest gross of 2001. So now, audience, it's completely up to you to tell us and help us get some facts here by telling us which of these films finished higher or lower than the previous. So think about it. Shrek is 487 million, all right? The next film is Ocean's 11. Now, is Ocean's 11, did it make more, was it higher or lower than 487 million? What do you think? Lower! Is it higher or lower, Mark? Higher? We're going lower. The consensus is lower, and indeed it is 450 million, so well done you. Next up, Jurassic Park 3. Higher or lower than 450 million? Lower! Higher. 368 million, so it's lower. The Mummy Returns. Higher and lower than the Talking Velociraptor. Alan? Higher. It was lower. Would you believe it? The Mummy Returns. Higher or lower than a Talking Velociraptor? And Mummy Returns was 433. So it was actually high. Sorry, Mike, I can't read. Right, finally, The Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring. Higher or lower than a Brendan Fraser back injury? Higher. Considerably higher. Well done. 883. And just because you're obviously loving this bit, I'm going to throw another one in because I've got a spare one. Mike Wazowski and Monsters Inc. Was that higher or lower than 883 million? Higher. It was lower than 883 million. It's 528 million. Alright, we've got some facts there. So, we've all seen Shrek. We know that it's a fairy story. It starts with a narration. And the narration is that there's a lovely princess with an enchantment upon her, and she's put into a castle with a dragon's keep. John,
just so we know, there's no such thing as a dragon's keep. It's only a keep where they put prisoners, so there's no dragons. Just so you're aware.
A keep, though, is a part of the castle that's used to keep prisoners and intended to be the safest and strongest part for fortification. It's also known as a donjon. Who I think's the guy that played Crockett in Miami Vice. Which is like a reference for 6 people here. We learn that this is Shrek, an ogre. Now, is Shrek Scottish, do we think? He's not very Scottish at all, is he? He is rubbish Scottish.
He's
Scottish
rubbish
via
Scottish.
Canada.
Just so you know, the movie's based on a book by William Stave. It was released in 1990. The name is a variation of the Yiddish word Shrek, which in English means to cause or fear or terror. And to shrekken is to frighten, but I think shrekken is Street Fighter term.
Shrek thinks this is absolutely rubbish. You see him going about his morning, washing in mud and brushing his teeth with bug poo. Top 3 nature's toothpastes, audience: coconut oil, baking soda, and essential oils. So you know that crazy person you used to go to school with who tries to sell you essential oils? Tell them to go and brush their teeth with it. Sorry if you do some essential oil. The opening credits is to the brilliant All Star by Smash Mouth, which we heard, from the 1999 album Astro Lounge, which is an absolute wall-to-wall banger album, that, by the way. I don't care how many people know it. Not the first film it's in the film Mystery Men, which is a great movie, don't care what anybody says, and Digimon the movie, which sounds like studio money laundering to me. I don't think it was ever actually a film. In 2000, All Star was nominated for the Grammy Best Pop Performance by a duo or group with vocals, but lost to Santana's Maria Maria. You will see. Chart positions for this song, John?
Yeah.
The German chart, the German Tommy, 74. The Sweden Tom Liston, 49. It was 38. Where, John?
The Netherlands!
And 3 times platinum in the USA. Fast forward to night time, and these townsfolk turn up to track Shrek down with flaming torches. This gang of ogre hunters was a little bit too close to what's going on out on the streets these days, and I kind of felt a little bit awkward, so stay safe out there. We fast forward to Shrek basically getting rid of these guys. Sorry. So Shrek gets rid of these guys and scares them off. One of them suggests first that he grinds down their bones to make his bread. And of course, we all know that's giants. Shrek's behind them, tells them that it's giants, and chases them away, and finds a poster offering a reward for fairytale creatures, which he dismisses. It was recorded by Pierre Lestel, you know, that's the clerk-in-chief of the French Parliament in the siege of Paris in 1590. We all know him. Starving Parisians decided to grind human bones from the cemetery and make bread from it. I should have maybe warned you to cover little one's ears. Sadly, those who made the bone bread didn't fare too well and got very poorly. It's rich in minerals and calcium. Human bones lack essential nutrients and calories, unfortunately. Next morning was a queue of fairytale creatures being presented to some guards. Geppetto hands over Pinocchio, who lies about being a puppet, and the guy says, 5 shillings for the possessed toy. So is Pinocchio the dad of that evil Annabelle puppet? Consider that. Pinocchio is a kid's novel by Italian writer Carlo Collodi in 1883. There have been 18 theatrical releases to date, and it's not included in the new live-action one from Disney that's coming out, and it's scary, inverted commas, one from the Winnie the Pooh, the Blood and Honey people. Yuck. That's actually going to be in their fairytale cinematic universe. I'm not kidding. I fell down a rabbit hole looking into that. You feeling alright, John?
Yeah, I'm getting there, buddy.
Next up's an old lady, and she's got a talking donkey. The donkey's played by who, everybody? Eddie Murphy. Now, Eddie Murphy's back, right? Eddie Murphy's back and making money, isn't he? Yeah? Have we forgiven Eddie Murphy? I don't know. From Norbert. Nothing else, just Norbert, honestly. She does this ventriloquist act, which is really, really good. She's like, I'm the talkingest damn thing you ever did see.
Yes, I am.
As of June 2023, Bubbles, a donkey at Hatton Adventure World in Warwickshire, was believed to be the world's oldest living donkey. Any guesses how old? 37, higher than that. 64. 64. Bubbles was born in 1959, which is equivalent to 180 years in human years. Which is how I feel looking at this audience. It's brutal. He gets covered in fairy dust and begins to fly, and the guard's like, he can talk. He's like, that's right, now I'm a flying, talking donkey. You may have seen a house fly and a super fly, but you ain't never seen a donkey fly. Thank you very much. Just then, the fairy dust runs out and falls to the ground, and the soldiers chase him into the forest where he ends up hiding behind Shrek. The film Superfly, 1972 American blaxploitation crime drama flick, which is amazing, by the way. Known for Curtis Mayfield's soundtrack album, sold 1.5 million copies in the USA, making it a gold album. You seen it, Steve? Good on this, mate. A horse can reach speeds up to 55 miles per hour. Most donkeys top out at 30 miles an hour over short distances. I top out at 4 miles an hour over like 200 feet, usually.
Debbie's lucky.
The soldier explains that Shrek's under arrest. You and what army? And as he turns around, all his men are gone. He makes a run for it. Donkey absolutely adores Shrek, doesn't he? Like, how much does Donkey love Shrek as the only person who's ever spoken to Donkey and not made him pull a cart? It's kind of how I am with John.
Yeah, true story. He's the only one that understands me.
Donkey doesn't have any friends. Sounds very familiar. And he suggests teaming up with the ogre. Shrek tries to scare him off by roaring in his face, but it doesn't work. But he does recommend Shrek tries a breath mint, maybe a Tic Tac.
Well, Tic Tacs were first introduced by Ferrero in 1969.
Nice.
I'm going to say that, but I can't say that. Under the name Refreshing Mints. In 1970, the name was changed to Tic Tacs after the distinctive clicking noise it makes when you shake them. Simple as.
1970, last time Tic Tac. Donkeys are put off by Shrek's attitude towards him, and they head together towards his hut. Donkey wants to stay with Shrek, and he suggests they should stick together. He allows it, and Donkey says he can stay up all night swapping manly stories. And in the morning, what's he going to make? Have you even seen the film? John, what does he make?
Waffles!
And in the morning, I'm making waffles. Sage, the no less waffle maker at Argos, go and collect one. They are in stock in Sainsbury's Argos in Carlisle, 100 quid. I get to actually feed the waffles into my big fat face. Shrek tells him he's sleeping outside. That night, Shrek's eating his dinner by earwax candle.
The medical term for earwax is surinum, which protects ears to get out from bugs, like out of Star Trek's Wrath of Khan.
I think he's written that.
So keep your wax, keep your wax.
The door goes and creeping around his table are these three blind mice who are inexplicably English. Just like the three little pigs are inexplicably German. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He then gets shunted by Snow White in a sarcophagus and the seven dwarfs. And in his bed's like Big Bad Wolf is like, here. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the highest grossing animated film for 55 years until Aladdin came out in 1993. And it was due to it having at least one theatrical re-release every decade from the 1940s until the 1990s in the US. I think I've probably seen Moana that many times. He kicks them all out, and we see outside the shops full of magical creatures, refugees from the kingdom, and this character, Lord Farquaad, has kicked them all out.
So Shrek gets all attention by shouting something called Hapaya, which I thought was a real thing, but it turns out it's no. Just improvised it, but it turns out it's a Hebrew unisex name which means joyful. So, Hapaya everyone, Hapaya.
Hapaya! And to get a bit of peace, Shrek agrees to go and speak to Farquaad and get him to go back to early. Donkey heads with him singing, on the road again! And at the Castle Duloc, Farquaad arrives at the dungeon. He's a very, very short man. I did for a second think he was being played by Rishi Sunak. Keep it light. They've been torturing a gingerbread man by taking his legs off and dunking him in milk. Which, and this is a bit of a reference to people from Carlisle alone, I would have bought a gingerbread man if you could get one in any shop and they weren't all Mr. Blobby biscuits.
Yeah, we tried to get him a
This is the most Carlisle reference I've got.
So I've got a couple of things on that. The Gingerbread Man story comes from, it was first printed in 1875 by St. Nicholas magazine. And the Muffin Man is believed to come from a song about Frederick Thomas Linwood, aka Drury Lane Dicer. He was a very bad man in the 16th century, so let's go with there, but yeah, it was based on a serial killer.
I've seen more of what John wrote here and realised it's an all ages audience, and we're not going to talk about that Pied Piper of Hamelin type story. All the adults are going, oh, I know what happens in the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Most children. He loves suicide and fairytale and against the Muffin Man. Muffin Man? Yeah, he lives on Drury Lane. He lives on Drury Lane. Drury Lane is. Did someone just do an absolutely brilliant Gingerbread Man impression? Can you do that again, whoever that was? Do it! Right, don't you go anywhere, you'll come here again, alright? Drury Lane's the Theatre Royal, which opened in 1812 in the West End of London. Okay, just then, Farquaad's goons arrived with this magic mirror, possibly the best bit. The magic mirror explains he can become king by marrying a princess, which is absolutely, audience, Carlisle, I'm so sorry to tell you, not true. Alright? As King Elrac's queen, if he married a princess, he would become a prince consort. Why, John?
Why must he lie? His
films are always lies.
We knew.
We go through this brilliant blind date style bit with Cinderella, Snow White and Princess Fiona. It's a Laura laughs. Again, references to nowhere. The mirror explains that Fiona's trapped in the castle guarded by a fire-breathing dragon, and she likes pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. Escape, the pina colada song, which probably most of you will know from that Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. A song by Rupert Holmes from 1979 about a man bored of his current relationship, puts out a person like for someone more like him, and gets his wife. In an interview with Naples News in 2019, Holmes says he does not drink pina coladas. Does he get caught in the rain, John? I think is the question. I think it is. 23 in the UK chart, 13 where? Fantastic, the Netherlands. Sorry if it's a Dutch people. And 10 in the stupid sexy Flanders Ultra Pop chart. Pina colada is Spanish for strained pineapple, which is what I got earlier when I sat down too fast. He picks Fiona, of course, and while he's staring out at a picture of her, the mirror's trying to tell him something that happens at night, but he's not listening. It can't be anything, right? He says he'll make Fiona his own, and he will be the king. Shrek and Donkey arrive at Geelong, and scary greeters dressed as him. He's got his massive papier-mâché head on, hasn't he? This Greek character. There's somebody with a massive Jessie mask on, a huge Jessie head on. Where's that person? That was amazing and scary at the same time. Absolutely lovely. He runs through this velvet rope, and Shrek's having none of it, and as you know, just walks through the ropes, doesn't he? Dragging all the ropes behind him. Every time I'm at a bank or queuing anywhere, I always think, I'm probably Shrek size, I could probably get away with that. Through the turnstiles inside the castle, it's full of shops, and it's basically a theme park.
So, according to official data, the first representation of modern-day electronic turnstile was installed in the Piggly Wiggly back in the USA in 1916. Piggly Wiggly. Just feels so good seeing it. Piggly Wiggly.
Donkey finds this marionette thing that sings a song, and then they hear shouting from the arena where Farquaad set up a tournament for the greatest fights to go and save Fiona. Some of you may die, but it is a sacrifice I'm willing to make, which I will not. Just as the tournament is about to begin, they spot Shrek. New plan, the one who kills the ogre will be named champion. And there's this great battle here, which is not nearly as good as the battles that we saw from Target Wrestling earlier on. And some of those guys are still here, give them a massive round of applause, I love them. We will be at one of your shows coming up soon, absolutely love that, thanks guys. The wrestling ring, like the crowd hate him, and they're booing him all the way.
I've looked at the wrestling ring. So in 1743, bare knuckle fighter Jack Burton came up with the first modern day boxing rules. But it was almost 100 years later before the boxing ring became the squared circle. So 100 years to think of shape. You know.
He slashes this massive beer barrel. And it just pushes everyone up. I know this movie's like 23 years old at this point. I honestly thought the CGI on the wood looked really good. because I'm a nerd. The largest beer barrels in the UK brewing are called a tun. They hold 252 imperial gallons or 8 standard barrels. After Shrek and Donkey have dispatched all of the guards, Farquaad agrees to make a deal. Shrek swamp for the princess. As they both head through the fields, Donkey explains Shrek should have used his brute force to get his swamp back. Maybe something like, I don't know, drinking fluids from their spleens? The spleen stores and filters blood and makes white blood cells that protect you from infection. A ruptured spleen can be fatal. Cheery. Shrek, however, explains that there's more to ogres than people realise because ogres are like...
Onions!
Onions. You mean what, they grow those little hairs? No, they've got layers, of course. Between 8 and 13 layers on an onion, depending on the species, but they're actually called leaves, not layers. So ogres have leaves. Donkey suggests not everybody likes onions, but everybody likes cake. Cakes have layers, like parfait. Parfaits are delicious.
Yeah, so the parfait originates in France in the 1890s. It was conceived as a frozen custard made by boiling eggs, sugar, cream, and the French word, and it pretty much means perfect. So I'm married to the parfait woman.
You're only saying that because she's here. She doesn't usually listen.
Yeah, she hates me.
You ever seen someone who wants a parfait and they say, hell no, I don't want a parfait? We get a montage of them travelling to On My Way by the always brilliant Reclaimers. Can we have a cheer from the Scottish people in the audience, please? Music for Scottish people. A 1989 song from Sunshine on Leaf sold 35,000 in Australia, and that's gold, and 200,000 in the UK for silver. They always have to beat us in the medal charts, though. They arrive at a rugged mountain outcrop. A donkey accuses Shrek of making a smell, let's say. Shrek explains it's brimstone. Brimstone means burning stone, but we know it as sulphur. Atomic number 16. Does anybody know the symbol on the periodic table of elements for sulphur?
Yes.
Go outside, brimstone means burning stone. I didn't know we knew. We're in a school and nobody knew that. That's disgraceful. I say go back to school.
But yeah.
I had the internet, so I was cheating. They get to cross the Indiana Jones rope bridge, by the way. Sans the snapping alligator stock footage. And Shrek tells Donkey to keep moving and not look down. Donkey stops and refuses to go any further. We've got a cat like that. And Shrek basically pushes him across. And before he knows it, they're across. That'll do, Donkey. That'll do. Inside, Shrek and Donkey split up, and Donkey heads up the stairs, and Shrek goes looking for the dragon done in a suit of armour he found in a skeleton.
So Donkey says at this point, I'm the stair master, but Eddie Murphy's character, not Professor, already said the exact same line, so it's been used before.
Hercules, Hercules, Hercules! Yeah. Donkey manages to find the dragon, which chases him until Shrek grabs it by the tail, distracting him. He flicks Shrek off of its tail and through the tower, concentrating once again on Donkey. The dragon trips Donkey and tries to talk his way out of it, only to realise the dragon is a girl dragon.
Girl dragon!
And she's very taken by Eddie Murphy. Very much like Mel B was. Yo, Phoenix. Inside, Fiona spots Shrek and pretends to be asleep. He leans over and she purses her lips, only for him to shake her awake. She explains she's waiting for a knight to rescue her, and she's disappointed that this isn't a romantic moment.
So at this point I looked up all the films of that damsel in distress. So it's Sleeping Beauty, Bluebeard, which I've not seen, Rapunzel, Red Riding Hood and Snow White, so there's a damn lot of damsels.
I'm sure I saw a bloke with a blue beard walking around here somewhere. Instead, he drags her around into the main castle and introduces himself as Shrek. She offers him this handkerchief as a token of gratitude, which he just wipes his fat, sweaty face with, doesn't he? And then hands it back to her covered in soot. The dragon roars, and she asks, why didn't you slay the dragon? He's like, it's on my to-do list. All the other knights tried, but of course all the other knights were burminated. Inside the dragon's treasure room, Shrek discovers that the creature's got Donkey wrapped in her tail. And it was this exact moment, audience, that I realised I remembered what happens in the second film between Donkey and the dragon. And your scientists were so preoccupied with whether they could create dragon-donkey babies that they never stopped to think whether they should. Shrek, Errol flings it on this chain, it's very good, and manages to drop the chandelier on the dragon, which goes around its neck like a collar. Shrek grabs Donkey and Fiona and makes a run for it. It's being chased by the dragon. They run out of the castle, across the bridge, with the dragon fire breathing all over the bridge so it breaks, and they cling to it. Again, I assume George Lucas was on the line to sue over this one. He had to be, didn't he? Because it is just Indiana Jones. The dragon tries to chase them, the chain won't reach, and so stuck in the castle. Fiona is really impressed and explains that she's eternally in Shrek and Donkey's debt. She tells Shrek to remove his helmet so she can look at his face. How else will she kiss him, which is their destiny? Come look at me! Darwin again, isn't it? Shrek is her true love. Both Donkey and Fiona think he's hilarious. She demands that he takes the helmet on, only to see that he's an ogre. He's supposed to be Prince Charming though, why isn't he? Shrek tells Fiona they're going to see Farquaad as he's the one that sent Shrek here. So Shrek picks her up, throws her over his shoulder, and starts carrying her. Isn't that what we all want in life, girls?
So ogres of their origins in the 12th century, they were popularised in Dutch books like Tales of Mother Goose, which I've never read because I think I'm too old.
As the sun begins to set, he explains that tomorrow she's going to meet Farquaad, her true love. Fiona can't wait that long, panics, explains they need to find a camp in the night. So they find a rock cave and they roll the thing away. And she just goes in. And Shrek's like, yeah, maybe we'll just put this back. This is so great. Later around the campfire, Shrek is telling Donkey stories based on the stars. And Donkey asks what they're going to do once they get back to their swamp. Shrek says it's not our swamp, it's mine. There is no ours. Shrek explains he's trying to keep the world out because the world has a problem with him. They judge him before they even know who he is, and that's why he's better off alone. Donkey explains when they first met, he didn't think that was Shrek. Don't we all need a donkey? Next morning, Fiona's doing the Disney princess thing, singing to a bird, and keeps up the notes until it just explodes. Again, this is grim. But at least they've got extra breakfast.
So I was looking to see what sort of eggs humans can eat. So it turns out that all eggs are edible apart from the pitau and the infrata because they excrete toxins, so do not eat those. Any other eggs, go for it.
Unless you're vegan, which don't. Eggs, I don't know this week eggs aren't vegan, I knew that. On the road, Shrek belches and Fiona does the same. Shrek's impressed because we all want a woman like that, right? She's not exactly what he thought she was going to be. Just then, the princess is grabbed by none other than John.
Robin Hood, or Monsieur Hood, not Robin, he never calls him Robin.
Now, Carlisle, you don't know, but I'm originally from Nottingham, okay? The only thing that we've got is a rubbish football team and Robin Hood, who is not French. Robin Hood, this made me more angry than anything in a Shrek film ever should.
Really
He explains he's here to save her from the ogre. There's a song and dance number, and him and his merry men basically talking about how great they are at saving people and only taking a small cut when they rob the rich. One of them plays an accordion. So this is the point, Carlisle, where I decided I was going to have a look and find out some famous accordion players. And I couldn't find any, except the bloke who sits outside Barclays Bank on English Street for the weekend. And I don't know his name. Fiona's having none of it and takes each and every one of them down with some really hardcore kung fu moves, which I loved, including, because it's the early 2000s, bullet time. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, thanks.
So, according to legend, Robin Hood was a highly skilled archer and swordsman, and sometimes in the legend he's depicted as being noble in birth, and in modern retellings he's depicted as having fought through the Crusades, returned to England, and finds his lands were taken by a sheriff who will scoop your hat out with a spoon!
Why a spoon, dear cousin?
And the most famous book about Robin Hood is Merry Men's Adventures. That's pretty much it. That's the only one.
I've got a copy of that somewhere. Robin of Locksley. Locksley is a village 3 miles from Sheffield city centre, which is rubbish because we all know Robin Hood, the Nottingham man with the Nottingham twang. Stealing gags from many years, aren't you? That's great. Robin Hood is thought to be buried in South Yorkshire and Little John in Derbyshire. So thanks for spoiling my childhood. HistoricBritain.com. Afterwards, Shrek explains where Fiona learned to fight. She explains you have to learn to look after yourself when you live in Workington. Fiona spots that Shrek's been shot in the butt with an arrow, and in her best field medic style, just pulls it out. Shrek then falls to the ground, and Fiona falls on him. Donkey, of course, spots this and thinks it's something else. You should never, ever, Carlisle, remove any object that's stuck in you.
Me? There's kids here, there's kids.
I mean, like arrows and things. While it's in you, it's blocking up most of the hole, so if you pull it out, it'll start bleeding up. It's not very nice. It also stops dirt getting into the wood. Another montage now heading towards Duloc with the eels, my beloved monster, who is currently filming the show. I am getting bad for that. So the debut album, Beautiful Freak. No, not John. Anybody got that album, Beautiful Freak by the Eels? Wow, I am so old. Here's the best fact though, the album was released, would you believe this, on the DreamWorks record label. The same people that made this movie. You didn't have that one when you were learning about DreamWorks, did you? Smarty pants. Shrek and Fiona get a lot closer, including this really creepy blowing up a frog and snake and turning them into balloons, which at the end of the scene they just let go and they float up towards the camera into the sky. At some point, those are coming down in somebody's garden. Absolutely horrifying.
Look up helium. So out of all the elements, helium is the most stable. It will not burn or react with any other element, so it's a pretty much single Pringle.
They arrive just outside Duloc and delay getting there by having dinner outside the broken down windmill. Shrek serves up weed-wrapped rotisserie style. Rotisserie style is a rotating spit for cooking meat. So next time you're in the Warwick Chippy, ask for your kebab rotisserie style. They're going to love it. Shrek suggests Fiona should come and visit the swamp sometime. But she said she'd like that, and they have a moment. Unfortunately, Shrek bottles it, and instead asks to eat their leftover weed-wrapped. Right. How about an opportunity to win a little bit of our merch? How does that sound? Yeah? Okay. Fantastic. What I want is anybody in the audience that wants to get up and do either a Shrek, a Donkey, or any impression from this show. Come on up. Everybody's going to get the opportunity in the audience to tell you how well you've done.
Even Gingerbread Man.
Come on, who wants to get up and win something? Where's the guy that did the Gingerbread Man thing?
Where's Gingy?
Where's he? Come on. We literally got stuff to give away here. Get yourselves up. Boo! Boo!
Is he restless?
Okay, we'll cut this out of the recording. Alright, we will be giving away some merch again, of course. Mike Myers is brilliant here, by the way. But you realise it's getting dark and that she needs to go inside and they say goodnight. Donkey explains to Shrek that he knows that they're digging on one another and they should tell one another how they feel. But if she's a princess and he's an ogre, she'd never look at him. Donkey heads into the windmill to speak to Fiona, only to discover that she's also an ogre. She tells Donkey that there's a curse on her and that every evening she'll turn into an ogre until Love's True Kiss releases a spell on her. Which means she has to marry Farquaad during the day before he sees her as an ogre. Donkey says Shrek and Fiona have got a lot in common, and outside Shrek's picked sunflowers for Fiona and practicing what he's going to say to her. There's a little bit where he overhears her talking about how ugly ogres are and how he wouldn't fancy her, but he makes the mistake of thinking he's saying she's ugly. So he flies off, makes her run for it. All night, Fiona thinks about it and emerges to tell him just as the sun's coming up, which of course means that the spell wears off. Shrek comes back very angry and explains he heard every word. She thought he would understand, but of course, doesn't matter to him. Just then, Farquaad and his knights arrive with the deed to Shrek's swan, and he tells them to take it and leave. Farquaad asks Fiona's hand in marriage. She accepts as Shrek walks away and tells Farquaad they must marry today, but the sooner the better. Donkey explains to Shrek that something he doesn't know, and Shrek says they're such good friends, why doesn't he go off with Fiona? He doesn't need anybody, especially useless, annoying, pathetic donkeys. Shrek makes his way back to the swamp, and we basically get this montage of both him and Fiona looking sad to Hallelujah, a really cheery song for a podcast. Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, 1984 single from the album Various Positions. Number 2 in the Toblerone Hits chart, Switzerland, and it tops the I told him we already got one French chart, which you may not know. The number of covers is phenomenal. This one in the film's John Cale, but the covers are Jeff Buckley, Rufus Wainwright, Katie Lang, Alexander Burke, John Bon Jovi, Antronics, Il Divo, and Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler?
There's a bit here where Fiona's looking at a chandelier. Chandeliers first appeared in the early 15th century, back then they were probably termed coladas. Frenchies, eh?
Shows you polycandelon. Pantaloons. Who's like that? Later, Shrek leaves his hut to see Donkey building what is supposed to be a wall out of old wood. And I was reminded, fantastically, of the artillery man in Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. Nothing but champagne now, I'm the donkey. And he's building a wall because he did half the work to believe he should get half the swap. Donkey explains Shrek is mean, unkind, unsupportive, and a backstabber.
The earliest known noun, backstabber, was first printed in 1906 in the Westminster Gazette, so that's the first time it's ever written down, so backstabbers, the press.
Shrek asks, so why did you come back? He says, because that's what friends do, they forgive one another. Donkey almost lets slip Fiona's secret when Shrek apologises for being a Shrek. He tells him to go and ask for himself, but they'll never make it to the wedding in time, not without the help of the dragon, who's there, and they ride into the castle. The ceremony's going on just as the sun begins to set, and the priest is like the one in Princess Bride. Marriage! Marriage is what brings us together. The dragon lands, and Shrek bursts into the ceremony. I object!
I'll do that back in Scottish.
I object! Hey, now you're talking. Any objection to a marriage has to have a legal reason behind it. Grounds for objection include factors like a party already being married to one another, pre-existing vows of celibacy, commitment to the church, being underage without parental consent, or being from YA, close blood relations. You can't marry him because he's just marrying you so he can be king. He's not your true love. And Farquaad basically, Farquaad's really nasty. And he goes, the ogre fell for the princess, and the whole congregation laughs. But maybe because they've got somebody stood there with these cards telling them when to laugh at the floor. Man, I wish I'd got some of those notes today.
Still time.
Just as the sun begins to set, Fiona says, I wanted to show you this before. And then she turns into the Fiona ogre. Farquaad orders these guards to capture them both. Shrek manages to fight off the guards and whistles to Donkey. Donkey and the dragon fly through the stained glass window. The dragon eats Farquaad, which is pretty grim. Donkey says, celebrity marriages, they never last, do they? So, celebrity marriages. Pamela Anderson and John Peters lasted 12 days. Carmen Electra and Dennis Rodman, 9 days. Was that a woo for Dennis Rodman? Wow! Nicolas Cage and Erica Kioke, thanks Siobhan, you gave me this back in the week, 4 days. But taking the crown, Britney Spears and Jason Alexander, 55 hours. No, not that Jason Alexander. George was already married. The opposite, as of 14th of February 2024, the Guinness Book of World Records lists Herbert and Zelira Fisher as the couple with the longest marriage in history, having been married for 86 years, 9 months and 16 days. Could you even imagine? Shrek tells Fiona that we are nearly there. We are nearly there. Somebody much better is coming on after us. Shrek tells Fiona that he loves her. She loves him too, and they kiss. Fiona's surrounded by starlight and will begin to take her true form, which of course we know from 17 more Shrek films is an ogre. But I don't understand, I'm supposed to be beautiful. But you are beautiful, says Shrek, and we all cry. Oh, no, we all cry. In the swamp, Shrek and Fiona get married with all the fairy tale creatures there. Fiona throws the bouquet, which is caught by the dragon, who gives these kind of cutie eyes to the donkey. Because remember, Carlisle, audience logic, Hollywood logic is, it's okay to have horrifying crossbreed chimera donkey dragons, as long as they're married. They've got to be married before they do that. All of this to the terrible smash mouth cover of I Am a Believer, which couldn't possibly be any worse. It just couldn't be any worse, could it? Oh, it is, because now Eddie Murphy's singing it. They all lived happily ever after, until I think the second one where they have babies, and the father hates Shrek, and the third one where he has a midlife crisis. And is there a fourth one where someone kidnaps the children? It's like, nothing nice happens to these ogres.
Yeah, it's Coronation Street.
There's a fifth one coming.
Jesus.
We'll see you in 5 years' time for that car. When we are dust. Fantastic. Couple of facts, John, I've got left. Shrek the sheep. Anyone heard of Shrek the sheep? The New Zealand sheep regained international fame in 2004 after he avoided being caught and shorn for 6 years. His fleece contained enough wool to make 20 large men's suits, weighing 25 kilograms, and an average merino fleece weighs 4 kilograms. After finally being caught on the 15th of April 2004, the weather was shown by a professional in 20 minutes on live New Zealand television. There's not a lot going on the telly in New Zealand, is there? People in Carlisle are going, what, the shoe sheep on TV now? What?
I'm in.
His fleece contained enough wool to make 20 large men's suits. He was taken to Parliament to meet Prime Minister Helen Clark in May 2004. Can you imagine? Hi, Keir Starmer, here's a sheep. Great. Chris Farley recorded nearly all the dialogue for the character, but unfortunately didn't make it to complete the project. According to David Spade, Farley had been looking after the bees. Farley only had 5 days left of voice work, and his brother John was asked to come in and finish the lines, but he absolutely refused. Holy shnikes! My Myers recorded everything in his actual accent, and then after that asked to re-record it all in a Scottish accent. Just think, you're getting paid double. Nicolas Cage was originally offered the role of Shrek. He turned it down because he didn't want to look like an ogre, instead of this wrinkled old man with hair plugs that he's become. It won the first Academy Award for Best Animated Feature.
Done and done. So that's pretty much all the facts we've got. So we're planning to touch them up. Any guesses on how many we got?
How many did we got?
How many?
85. 85. Any other guesses?
69.
6? Boo! We're bad, but we're not that bad.
Yeah.
What else did we have?
69.
69, okay, yeah. Anybody else, Abby? 101, okay. Can anybody beat 101? We can't. Alright, I've sorted them up, and we've got 107! So big round of applause for John. I can't do that. Thanks, guys, appreciate it. Right, so all that's left for us to do is thank Ali and the team at Megacon. Big round of applause, you've done a great job already. It's only going to get better. And thanks, guys, for this opportunity. It means so much to us that you're the ones that took the opportunity and made us realise we are not a podcast for live shows.
Thanks.
I'm going to thank my wonderfully supportive wife, Rachel. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. John, do you want to thank anybody?
Yeah, my wife, just for being patient and driving with me, because I know
Round of
we're
applause for
driving.
Kirsty.
And guys, thanks for taking the time to come see us. Thank
All of
you.
you people that took even 5 minutes to sit this nonsense, we absolutely love you so much.
Right, so thanks Scottish Yoga, and I hope you all have a live happily ever after, because this is obviously a fairy tale.
So just a little reminder that we're doing this completely for free, but we are selling some of our hats. We've got some beanie hats, these, and some badges. We're going to give away some stickers for free, so if you want to come up and see us afterwards and just get a photo with us, we would love that. It'd be really good. We'll put that on our Facebook page, especially if you're in costume, it'll be amazing. And we'll give you all a sticker, alright? Yeah. But that's it. Thanks very much. Yeah.
But from now, I've been John.
I've been Planty.
And this has been 107 Things we learned from Shrek. See ya.
See ya. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Some really good laugh.